Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. In today's video I want to show you this base game family house that I've built because I noticed that it has been a while since I made a house using only the base game, and it's always a lot of fun, and also you don't have to make as many decisions just because there aren't that many items to choose from. So in kind of a way it's always nice to build base game houses, and I was in the mood for one, so I just did it. And yeah, it's been way too long. I actually started this channel with a whole bunch of base game houses for a save file that I actually still haven't completed, but yeah, that was a bunch of fun, so I was just in the mood to do it again, and I am very happy with how this one came out. Of course, if you're only using the base game and have only a limited amount of ideas and skills, I wouldn't say that I'm a bad builder, by no means. I am proud of a lot of my builds, but there are just some people who can do things with just the base game that I cannot do. And I accept that, and I am not jealous, I'm just admiring from afar. But yeah, so this is just a house. I did use a lot of debug, and I also put in some very creative idea. I did some things with gallery art, I did some things with combining debug items to make interior furniture and stuff, so I was a little bit creative and I am proud of those ideas. However, this build does not have as much wow factor as like a huge like magician tower or castle that I may be able to build when I have all of the packs, and I hope you understand that. But this one is really good for gameplay, I think. Sadly, it is not that cheap. It's 170,000 Simoleons, so it is like quite a hefty price because this is kind of a big house, but still every last single bit is play tested in this house. So I usually have like a little bit of a bad habit of uploading stuff and forgetting to playtest before, and then some things need to be like a little bit rearranged. So like my builds as a whole usually work well. It's just that sometimes there's like a plant in the way and you have to move it out of the way for everything, like for every counter to be accessible and stuff. But with this one I did like playtest every last counter and it completely is functional for gameplay. So maybe this is more a house that you would play with if you have like free real estate on or use some money cheats, or if you are pretty far down the line with a legacy challenge and already have acquired some simoleons. But in general, this is like a very nice house for gameplay. I would say it's the kind of house that I would like to play in with my gameplay. It has a lot of skill building items, it has a lot of bedrooms, and also it is cluttered to look nice, but it isn't too cluttered to make the game laggy. So I think I managed to find a sweet spot, and I actually do play with this in my little personal save. I haven't really had a personal like save file of just me doing gameplay in The Sims for a long time, but when the story progression update came out, I was really in the mood to do some gameplay again. So now I have my personal little gameplay file, and I know sometimes I do play gameplay on Twitch. I do the 100 baby challenge over there, and I had also started some other challenges that I never really quite stuck to, but this one I will stick through. But yeah, so this is just my personal save, and I am using that for this one. No, I'm using this one for that. And yeah, so I really love this house, and it's also kind of built for my Sims family. Not specifically, I haven't put any like too specific stuff in. It's still like you can still like apply your character and your Sims and your family photos and stuff to these walls, and there aren't any pre-existing photos for like from my Sim. There isn't any like equipment from the scientist career or something standing around in this house, so it is a pretty general house that everyone can like apply to their Sims families, I would say. But yeah, just for my family it fit perfectly with the amount of money that I had and the amount of rooms that I needed. So this is also kind of a little self-indulgent project, so I hope you can excuse that, but it was a bunch of fun to build, and so I hope that you maybe also are going to have a lot of fun playing in it. But I hope it's okay if I talk a little bit about my personal gameplay save now, because there was some drama and stuff like there sometimes is. So I am playing with the wonderful Whims mod that adds an attraction system. And my sim that I was playing with was a romantic and also a serial romantic, so very much interested in flirting and stuff. And so I decided for myself that I would like go into a romantic relationship with every sim that my sim meets that is like considered extremely attractive by them. And so I met a bunch of sims, and for the longest time there wasn't really a sim there that my sim found extremely attractive, but then there were 3 in the end. So like after a few days going like to like clubbing to Windenburg and stuff, I found some sims that my sim found extremely attractive. So I flirted with them. They were like at different events at different places and stuff. So I had like pretty high romantic relationship with 3 different sims, and like I was also like my sim was seeing like with which one of those sims they were having a baby first and stuff. So yeah, just like typical chaotic romantic drama kind of Sims gameplay. But then one day, like my sim at that point was still living on its own. All 3 of them showed up to the front door at the exact same time. So like first there were like 2 of them that really like arrived at exactly the same time, and I was already freaking out because oh my god, I don't know how my sim is going to greet them. I don't know if they're going to see like my sim flirting with both of them and stuff, and how they're going to react, because at that point I was still living in a tiny house, or even in a micro home, I think. So there is like this extreme relationship gain, and that one goes both ways. So if a sim gets mad at your sim in a micro home, they also get really mad really quickly, and so I was kind of scared of that. And so I was already freaking out, trying to keep it like funny and friendly with both of them. And then the 3rd sim that my sim was dating showed up, and it was really karma. And it was a bunch of chaos and a bunch of fun. So yeah, that's the gameplay that I'm doing right now. Nowadays, my sim has decided for one of them. My sim switched once, but decided ultimately on one of the 3 of them. And they never got mad at each other. They never found out about each other. So we're fine there. But yeah, I like, I don't know, something about the story progression update and me really like curating the entire neighborhood and having a relationship, not really a relationship, but like having some sort of connection to every single sim in the neighborhood again, just has really like invigorated my I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but like has really like rebirthed my joy in playing gameplay in The Sims. So I'm very, very glad that we got this update. And while we're already on the topic of Sims drama, that one happens way more rarely than drama in gameplay, but there was also some drama while I was building this house, in that I completely lost my reference for this build that I was really, really happy with, that I was really inspired by and wanted to recreate and stuff, because I was in Zillow. I live in Germany, so Zillow doesn't have any like houses on their website that I could be interested in, because it's like the wrong country, but it's still very much a lot of fun to look at houses in America and how they look and what their prices are and stuff. I don't know, I'm just interested in houses. It's just like a Sims builder thing, I think. Don't judge me. But yeah, so I was looking at American houses on Zillow because I thought if I want to build a base game house, that is the best place to look for reference, because it's just, I don't know, the base game is very much catered towards this American suburban style of building, and I don't really have a lot of reference on my Pinterest page or even in my like real life and the houses that I see day to day that kind of fits that style. So when I knew I wanted to build a base game house, I just knew that Zillow was the place to go to look for that, and I found one that was so cute and that was like very close to what I've built here, and I really, really liked it. But I especially liked the interior of that house. I thought it was so beautiful, and I also at the same time thought it was executable with only the base game, which was awesome, because I feel like getting a nice interior that doesn't look like every other house on the gallery with just the base game is a little bit harder than getting a new unique exterior. So yeah, in any case, I had these interior inspirations that I fell in love with on Zillow. And then I have built this in like one evening, one session, and then I get to the interior after about 1.5 hours or maybe 2 hours, and I click on Zillow and I accidentally press the X of the tab where I had the references for the interior pictures. I think because I wanted one of them to be bigger and then I wanted it in a different tab, and then I accidentally closed the tab. But I thought it was not a big deal. I went into my history and I opened it again. But when I opened it again, the house was sold. So I was building a house from Zillow as a reference that was sold in the exact same like amount of time that I was building this house, which was very like surreal. I had never like expected that. I didn't know that that was possible. But yeah, it was like, I don't know if it was sold, but at least it was taken down completely from Zillow, this house that I was building at that moment. So I lost my interior reference photos and I had to look for like a different house to be inspired by. Of course, I still had a lot of them in my memory, and for the most part in this build I went off of my memory, but there are just like some like subtle details in the decorations and stuff that I would have loved to have executed with reference, because I think a reference just adds that layer of realism and detail that you wouldn't go into if you didn't have a reference picture and would just go off of The Sims. So I kind of had like a mixture of that, because I had that like vague reference in my mind. I had like some new reference pictures that didn't exactly fit what I wanted to do, and then I just had The Sims in front of me and just did whatever. So it was like a mix of the three. But yeah, I never really thought that that would happen to me building a house from Zillow in the moment that it's like sold or taken off the website. If you ever had something like this, I know a lot of you are super talented Sims builders as well who also work with reference, and I know Zillow is pretty popular in the Sims builder community. So if you ever have that happen to you, let me know, because I don't know how frequently like buildings get sold and taken down off the website on Zillow, but I thought that it was a pretty big coincidence that that happened in the exact same moment that I wanted to use this for reference. So yeah, with that, this house is almost complete. I had to cut some like rooms out of the speed build because the speed build was getting too long, at least for my taste. So you are going to see those rooms in the tour at the end. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. Just in general, I hope that you liked and enjoyed this video. If you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy, and I hope we'll see each other again.